Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another review. Today I'll be talking about Troubled Blood by Robert Galbraith, which is the 5th installment in the Cormoran Strike series. The series I always say I won't continue reading until I read the next book. Now, before starting with the review, I'll address two elephants in the room. First, if you don't know, Robert Galbraith is actually the pen name of J.K. Rowling, who turned out to be a rather problematic person. Now, I won't be getting into any of that in this video. I personally have mixed feelings about reading her books, but I will try to simply review this book as a book. So if you are looking for some criticism about her behavior, this is not a place. Secondly, this is a 5th book in a series. If you haven't read any of them, I do recommend reading them according to their order. If you still just want to read one certain book, note that they don't really reveal any spoilers of previous books. However, it was meant to be read in its original order because there are many developments concerning recurring characters, but it's not a must. Okay, now let's talk about Troubled Blood. As always, our main characters are Cormoran Strike, famous grumpy private detective, and Robin, the young, beautiful, smart, not like other girls, who is his partner, a character I loved at the beginning and disliked more and more as the series progressed. But this time our duo is called to solve a cold case. A woman asks Strike to find her mother, who disappeared without a trace in 1974. It was commonly assumed that a serial killer active in that time was the one who killed her, but there was never a definite proof of that. Her remaining family want answers, so Strike and Robin start investigating, discovering many potential suspects, secrets and motives, and even uncover connections to both the mafia and the occult. And all they have to go on is this: the killer is possibly a Capricorn. So, in short, if you've seen my other reviews on the previous books in the series, you might not be surprised to hear that even though the book wasn't a total disappointment, it had some really irritating things. It's nothing spectacular, but also not one of the worst I've read. Honestly, the things I disliked about this book were mostly the same things that I disliked in previous ones, so at least I was prepared. But let's start with some positives. J.K. Rowling is really good in writing detective books. She's really good at presenting interesting, unique characters that feel real and different from one another. She's wonderful at setting the scene, at hiding clues in plain sight and confusing us with such interesting and intricate plot that we don't notice we've just missed a significant clue. I like the voice she gives her characters. Doesn't mean I like the characters, I'll get to that. But when the characters talk, behave, react, you feel you understand who they are and they're not just tropes. In addition, I think it's important to divide the book into two: the mystery itself and everything else. Because this is a series, aside from the mystery that they're trying to solve, we also have the overarching story of the main characters and their private lives. The mystery itself stays in the positive side of the review. The plot is interesting, the tangle of characters is fascinating, the solution is great. I won't reveal anything, don't worry. It's not too obvious, and it seems like all the loose ends are solved. Also, I have a soft spot for cold cases. It's one of my favorite subgenres of thrillers. So kudos for J.K. Rowling to all of that. But now, let's talk negatives. Basically, everything else stinks. And by that I mean this melodrama of Strike, Robin, and the other returning characters. Now we'll be talking a little on what happened in previous books, so if you haven't read any of them, slight spoilers ahead, but it was so predictable. Anyway, if you don't want to hear them, if you want to skip them, just go to this timestamp that is on the screen right now. Okay, ready? Let's go. I hate this will they won't they Robin Strike romance. I hate Robin's family. I care for Robin less and less with each book because apparently Rowling forgot that a woman can be both kick-ass and feminine at the same time. And people around her seem to have forgotten that this is not the 1960s. The way people seem to blame Robin for her divorce when Matthew was the one who was cheating on her infuriates me. And speaking of infuriating, can we please stop with the whole women aren't complete unless they are with a partner / baby? This is 2021. You can be single and happy. You can be in a romantic relationship without a child and be happy. You can have a casual sexual relationship and be happy. And you can be a suburban stay-at-home mom and be happy. People are different, and there isn't one way to live your life successfully. And if people are still on their journey to find happiness, support them instead of constantly shaming them for being 29 and still single. And why are Matthew and Charlotte still active characters here? Jesus, everybody hates them! Let's get rid of them already! Okay, that was my rant about the subplot and the awful side characters. I did like some of them though. Strike's aunt and uncle, some of Strike's friends, Robin roommate seems nice. But I really felt like the series on one hand tries to be feminist by having a female main character who is really smart and a good private detective, but how can one book claim on one hand to support a certain agenda, but on the other hand, doing it so badly it's actually more damaging than helpful? Because this specific female character is not only so perfect, it's unrealistic, but her lifestyle also shows that she's very unhappy because it leaves her single, and pretty much every other character supports this notion. I'm starting to repeat myself here, so let's move on and see what else I can complain about. This book perpetuates this annoying trope that men and women are so utterly different that there is absolutely no chance of them ever communicating. It really annoys me because I think most characters in this book could use a good workshop in healthy communication skills. I get that society shapes us and treats men and women differently. As a woman, I often feel that I'm expected to be the peacemaker and accept the fact that men don't show emotions. But come on, we're not all stereotypes. When you think of how many problems in this book could have been solved if the characters would have just said what was bothering them. It was a lot more frustrating than enjoyable, basically, that's the bottom line. But you know, I think that this is where I'm going to end this review. Basically, this book is a perfect continuation of the previous ones in that it has the same annoying 60s tropes. But the mystery itself is probably the best one in the entire series. Again, I really love cold cases. So if you want to read a very well-written mystery and don't mind that it gives too much space for the private lives of the characters in a way that makes you want to facepalm every 10 pages, then this is the book for you. And guys, that's it for my review. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumb up, to subscribe to my channel, if you dare, and let me know in the comment section, do you like cold cases? And yes, of course, I know the show Cold Case. Seen it, one of the best procedural series out there. Also, an interesting note, completely coincidentally, I've read recently two very similar books, one after another, this one and my previous review, The Disappearance of Stephanie Mailer, which was a lot better than this one. It's so strange just how similar both books are. We have a cold case that was considered solved for years. The original detective on the case seemed to have gone crazy. They throw in a female character to show how difficult it is for women in this field, but its feminist agenda isn't a really good one. We have a divorcee that is a lot happier now, but her family keeps pressuring her to go back to her ex. How strange, right? Have you read both books? Did you notice also the similarities, or is it just me? So guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time where I won't be talking about a cold case thriller. Bye bye.